Hi guys, welcome back to another episode. I'm Chris and you're watching Chris's World. In this episode, I want to show you how to use the Nikon D7000 live view settings. And I'll go ahead and go over all the little features that it has to offer, including how to use the autofocus in different ways and show you why it's really cool to even use it with a manual lens. So let's get into this video. Now, if you are one of my subscribers, I'm sorry I haven't made a video recently. I've actually just got into a new job and quit my last one. So that'd be why I haven't been on here for a little bit and why it has taken me some time to upload this video. I've been very busy, and it's not because I don't like doing videos. I love doing YouTube videos and I love helping others. So that's what I've been up to, if you guys are wondering. The beauty of live view is it lets you compose your images beforehand. I feel when I put it on a tripod, I can actually get really close and I can really zoom in to that really small part of the subject. And it really helps me be able to dial in my focus and get the right exposure and everything I want right then and there. I can see everything really clearly, and it gives me a real nice experience as if I were using a mirrorless type camera. Now, when you are using live view, it is in a mirrorless mode because the mirror actually lifts up and it makes it so the sensor is actually showing through the lens rather than the mirror. So that is the difference and why this actually kind of works a little bit better on this camera than other cameras that are before this. Alright guys, so here we are with our Nikon D7000 in live view mode. And in order to activate live view mode, you actually have to hit the switch right here. So there are great benefits to using live view mode because it will act as if it is a mirrorless camera. And it basically turns your camera into a mirrorless camera without some of the functionality that some of the mirrorless cameras have today. Like for instance, you'll be able to use your shutter speed in basically a live fashion to where you can go ahead and change it from different speeds to get a lighter or darker image. You can also change your ISO setting to do the same thing, and you can also change your white balance as well. Okay, so there are different things that you can actually use on live view mode, and it will give you just a whole bunch of options when you are trying to use this mode in certain situations. Okay, now the Nikon D7000 also comes with a video feature. If you hit this little red button, you will actually activate the video mode, and it does record sound. It also does record up to 24 frames per second in 1080p. Okay, so if you want to change the video settings, you can actually go into the video, into the settings menu, and you just go all the way into the camera, and then you go into movie settings. Okay, and there you will see you have different options. Your highest setting is 920 by 1080p at 24 frames per second, and then your lowest setting is of course 420p, which is very small and probably used for other things back in the day, like low res video for other for low res TVs or anything like that. Now, as far as it goes with the video modes, I don't really use it that much because unfortunately my Nikon D7000 does like to hunt when it's in autofocus mode. So for instance, when I am taking pictures and I do put it on the full autofocus mode to where it focuses for me, you'll see that it actually likes to try to hunt. But if you just have stationary or anything like that, you'll also see that it does a pretty good job of recording video when you need it to. Okay, so you have different modes to do this, and it actually is not too bad. It just, you really can't use the audio because you'll constantly hearing a lens moving back and forth, at least on my model anyway, or on my camera. Okay, the other neat thing about using live view mode is if you want to use it to take pictures of people, there are different modes, of course, to do that. You have a dedicated facial detection button, which is really neat because what happens is the camera constantly is trying to focus on your subject, and it'll actually give you a pretty good accurate reading, considering that it is hunting a little bit, but once it's in there, it's actually pretty good. Okay. You do have this little button in the front right here. This little button is able to activate that functionality for facial detection. All you do is hold it down, and when you do hold it down, you have more options in live view. So you have full autofocus right here, and then you also have the single servo autofocus. You do, when you turn this dial, that's how you activate those features. When you turn your front dial, that's when you can change your autofocus style. So you go to normal, you have this selection point type focus. Okay, and then you have the ability to change it in other ways as well. There's wide and just normal, which you can also check your focus points in that way too. Okay, so live view does have a lot of nice functionality. If you do hit the info button, you even have more functionality to where you can actually see the image in 16:9 ratio. And then you can also have it so where you have a grid, so then you can set up your rules of thirds appropriately, which is really nice. And then you'll also have a altimeter, basically, I believe that's what this is called, I forget, to where your image is, it tells you if your image is level, and this is great if you're on a tripod and trying to use this feature, this mode, when you're doing panoramas. I cannot stress enough how great this mode is when you're trying to take a panorama image. It just takes everything away from having to struggle when you're looking in a viewfinder and having to line everything up. It just makes it all that much easier. Now, when you are using autofocus lens, the only downfall is that you cannot change your f-stop unless you turn off your don't turn off your camera unless you turn off live view mode. Okay, so you just turn live view mode off, and then you basically change your f-stop, and then it'll go back to what you want on when you are in the mirrored mode. Okay, so that is kind of the only downfall. Now, of course, if you do decide to use a manual focus lens, you will have complete control, and you'll be able to use the live view mode functionality completely and fully, because you won't have to worry about changing your f-stop, because the f-stop will be on the lens. So there's one other thing to consider while using your Nikon D7000 in live view. Batteries. Make sure you have a ton of batteries, because the live view feature does consume a lot of battery power. Unfortunately, because it is an older technology on this camera, well, more or less because of its age, it does use a larger portion of battery compared to what they have nowadays. Because sensors back then ran a little bit hotter than they do today. The processors, all that stuff just generated a lot of heat and consumed a lot more power, unfortunately. Now, when you are using live view, you will get used to using it even more after practice. So keep practicing while you're using it. It really can make a difference if you prefer to use an LCD screen rather than your viewfinder for taking pictures or even shooting video. You can't really shoot video through the viewfinder, but the LCD screen does allow you to shoot up to 1080p at 24 frames per second. But basically, you have a lot of functionality. You can basically zoom in also to get really nice sharp focus. So say your image, you're doing a macro image and you want to get really close, you can actually use your camera to where it will just take a really nice picture because you'll be completely focused. This is great if you are indeed manually focusing. So say you want to put your camera into manual focus mode and you want to say focus manually. The nice thing about this is you just have to zoom all the way in and then you can actually fine tune your focus with your manual focus ring on your lens if you have one, providing your lenses have one, okay? But remember, whenever you are on a stationary tripod, make sure you are turning off VR off, okay? So then you can take a picture and your picture should come out really nice and focused. Okay? Now there are just a couple other things I wanted to cover with this. You also can change your metering modes, of course. Let's see here. You can change it from matrix to center weight to spot. And those work pretty good as well. The only downfall is that you don't really have a meter to go off of except for numbers. So if you're used to seeing the little lines inside of your viewfinder, you will not have that on the live view function. You'll just have to use your numbers to really, and the brightness to really kind of give you an idea of where you want your shutter speed, okay? Now, as I said before, you can use a manual focus lens. And to do that, you just basically turn off your camera. I'm going to put it on right now. So basically, I put my manual focus lens on my camera, and now I'm going to show you why I think it's a great thing to use a manual focus lens on the Nikon D7000, because it gives you a little more functionality when you are trying to really get the full effect of using live view on this camera. Okay, you can still zoom in digitally, which is so nice, but you can also really fine-tune your focus with your manual lens. But the best part about this is you can actually adjust your f-stop, because your f-stop is actually right on your lens. Instead of having to turn off live view, you can actually just turn your lens f-stop and you'll have really nice results because you can actually have a lot more functionality. And as you can see, the image came out very nice and very sharp. Okay? The great thing about live view is it works great for macro photography. It works great for panoramas, and it will give you that really nice, soft, beautiful image if you're looking for that. It will give you a beautiful image regardless, because you're really getting into tuning your picture perfectly and getting into what give the extra features and kind of understanding more, because you get to see what's really happening in a different way. Okay? So the basic functionality of live view is so you can use it to compose your photographs on the back of your LCD screen rather than inside of your viewfinder on Nikon D7000. It does act as if it would be a mirrorless camera, and it does have some of the functionality, but it doesn't have all the functionality as if it was a real mirrorless camera. But it lets you have a little bit more of an edge on how to compose your photo before actually taking the picture, which is really nice. Alright guys, well, if you liked this video, please make sure you hit that like button, please subscribe to my channel, and please go ahead and share this video if you think that it can help someone else that might have this camera. And if you want to get future notifications, please hit that little bell in the corner as well. That way you can get future updates of when I post more videos. It'll pop up a notification on your device and show you when I do post one. Well, I thank you guys for watching this. Thank you to all the new subscribers who have joined this awesome community that I'm building. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.
If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel to get notified when new videos get posted. Thank you for watching this video. Please consider checking out some of the other videos on the links at the end of this video.